All right, still some protests going on to the Supreme Court. That's why I want to go a bit of a different tack with my next guest, who's been very patient, Michelle Snyder, the Market Gauge Group Managing Director, my buddy David Asman of FBN fame. Guys, I want to pivot to what Democrats are planning to galvanize on this decision today to improve their chances in November. So, Michelle, from a market perspective, if this has changed the midterm math equation more in favor of Democrats, that's a leap to put it mildly, would that be disruptive to the markets?
I'm not sure if that would be the defining disruption to the market, because we still have so many other factors that can be disruptive to the market. The main one, of course, is still inflation. I really believe that that might stay as the top billing, because that's what people feel the most. And we can see just the immediate reaction of the market right now, as people are somewhat more hopeful, is that we've seen no reaction in the market to the news today. So just based on that, I think that's what we have to look at going forward, is where does inflation go, and can the Fed really deliver this soft landing and keep it under control? I personally am skeptical about that for many reasons, but I would certainly like to hear David's thoughts on that.
I'm not interested in David's thoughts on that. But no, really, David, what are your thoughts on it?
Because you and I, candy here.
Right, yeah, you and I have long heard it's the economy, stupid. Yeah. And to Michelle's point, I mean, that I still agree with that would decide this. But what do you think?
I think Michelle is right on. I mean, the fact is right now, I think it rates something like 6% of the voting public says abortion is the most important factor. Overwhelmingly, it's still a pocketbook issue. It could change, of course, as people mull this over. But, you know, the American public is really so divided about the whole idea of abortion. On the one hand, you know, you have 63% of voters saying that they want Roe v. Wade to stay. On the other hand, 54% of voters say abortion should be mostly or always illegal. So it's like, you know, they've been fed sort of misinformation about Roe v. Wade, what Roe v. Wade is. And I think since we got 4 months until the election, I have a sense that all this is going to calm down. And to the extent that abortion has jumped to at least a little higher than where it was, it's going to come back down again, and the economic issues will take over.
All right, we're told that that's limited time for the economy to turn around, or at least the perception about that we slow down. So, Michelle, what are you looking for the next few months?
Well, right now, just to finish a little bit on the abortion issue and the ramifications to the markets, even in the more intermediate term, we do know that if we have a tremendous amount of polarization, that could cause social unrest, which would not be good for the market, and would also actually be somewhat inflationary, because when those things happen, the dollar drops as confidence in the United States having their act together starts to fall. And that also could be have a bullish consequence for gold, which of course would then be perceived inflationary. So I just want to mention that there is that something to keep an eye on, and it kind of ties together with what we're looking at here, which is inflation. So really that's what it's going to boil down to. Powell said that he cannot control through higher rates food or energy costs going higher. People kind of put that statement on the shelf and really feel like the raise that we've had right now and the drop we've seen in commodities has been enough. It hasn't really been. Commodities are volatile like that. Historically, if you look at the 70s, we certainly saw evidence of that.
Like she said.
I'm way too young to remember that. David, I apologize. I want to thank you both very, very much. I kept dragging you throughout this whole thing, and that's my bad, but I do appreciate your insight into